By means of one of those lost arts of antiquity, the priests of the temple were able to manufacture lamps which would burn for centuries without replenishment. The lamps resembled what is commonly called the virgin lamps, or those carried by the Vestal virgins. They were a little smaller than a human hand, and according to the available records, their wicks were made of asbestos. It has been maintained that these lamps have burned for 1,000 years or more. One of them was found in the tomb of Christian Rosenkreutz, which had burned for 120 years without the supply of fuel being diminished. It is supposed that these lamps, which incidentally burned in hermetically sealed vaults without the aid of oxygen, were so constructed that the heat of the flame extracted from the atmosphere some substance which took the place of the original fuel as rapidly as the mysterious oil was consumed. Hargrave Jennings has collected numerous references concerning the times when and places where these lamps have been found. In the majority of cases, however, they went out shortly after the vaults were opened, or else were broken in some strange way, so the secret was not discovered. Concerning these lamps, Mr. Jennings writes, "The ancient Romans are said to have preserved lights in their sepulchres many ages by the oiliness of gold. Here steps in the art of the Rosicrucians, resolved by hermetic methods into a liquid substance, and it is reported that at the dissolution of monasteries in the time of Henry VIII, there was found a lamp which had then burned in a tomb from about 300 years after Christ, nearly 1,200 years. Two of these subterranean lamps are to be seen in the Museum of Rarities in Leyden in Holland. One of these lamps in the papacy of Paul III was found in the tomb of Tullia, so named Cicero's daughter, which had been shut up 1,550 years. Madame Blavatsky in Isis Unveiled gives a number of formulae for the making of ever-burning lamps, and states in a footnote that she herself saw one made by a disciple of the Hermetic arts, which had burned steadily without fuel for 6 years previous to the publication of her book. The ever-burning lamp was, of course, a most appropriate symbol of the eternal fire of the universe. And while chemistry has denied the possibility of manufacturing them, the fact that many have been made and seen over the period of thousands of years is a warning against dogmatizing. In Tibet, the Lama magicians have discovered a system of lighting rooms by means of a luminous ball of fluorescent greenish-white color, which increases in luminosity when ordered to do so by the priests. And after the departure of those who are in the chamber, it gradually becomes fainter until only a spark remains, which burns continuously. This apparent miracle is no more difficult to explain than another performed by Tibetans. There in Tibet, a sacred tree which sheds its bark annually. And as the bark peels off, an inscription written in Tibetan characters is found upon the new bark underneath. These secrets of so-called savage and primitive peoples incessantly refute the ridicule of the Caucasians, almost invariably view the culture of other races. The Druid priests in Britain, recognizing the sun as the proxy of the supreme deity, used a ray of solar light to start their altar fires. They did this by concentrating a ray upon a specifically cut crystal of aquamarine, set to form of a magic brooch, or buckle upon the front of the belt of the arch-druid. This brooch was called the Liath Misith, and was supposed to possess the power of drawing the divine fire from the gods down from heaven and concentrated its energy for the service of men. The buckle was, of course, a burning glass. Many of the nations of antiquity so revered the fire and light of the sun that they would not permit their altars to be lighted by any other means than the concentration of the sun's rays through a burning glass.